Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Tales from the Infrared. I am your host, Christian Chesso, and joining me this week as my co-host is Jim Kelvarn. How's it going, Jim?
Oh, gamers are... oh, wait. No, that was a year ago. Apparently, gamers are... what is it? Let me see something. Let me find it. Yeah. Yeah, apparently we're all gamers now.
Yeah. That's kind of a... Wow, that's a bit of a switch.
Does that mean we're all dead?
Rachel, how's it going, Rachel?
Pretty good, but I'm wondering if that makes us all dead. Or undead.
Yes. We're zombies. We're gamer zombies.
Zambies?
Yes, zombies.
Okay.
We're zombies. Bit of a light show this week. Light on the panel. It's just me, Rachel, and Jim this week. But of course, James is running the back room. I don't know if James wants to say hi to everybody.
Hi to everybody.
Hi. Who is going to take us through our topics this week? Hello.
I believe Rachel gets to.
And of course, Rachel. Go ahead, Rachel. Read our topics.
Oh, God. Hold on a moment. Okay. I failed the roll. Superman actor Cain on GamerGate. I'm on the gamer side. Actor Dean Cain, best known for his role as Superman in the iconic hit TV show Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, has revealed he is on the gamer side in the GamerGate movement. Having defeated Lex Luthor in the 1990s, Cain has now thrown his hat in the ring against a nefarious supervillain, the rainbow-haired social justice warrior. On Steven Crowder's show earlier today, Cain and I discussed the threat to artistic freedom posed by pearl-clutching activists whose fact-free rants about sexism and violence have infuriated both gamers and game developers. From GamerGate to Cecil the Lion, internet mob justice is out of control. This particular hit piece is trying to tie GamerGate to the death of Cecil the Lion. Apparently, according to the author, GamerGate has been run out of polite internet society. Talk about a bunch of laughs. Let's enjoy the stupid, shall we? Has geek culture finally embraced gender parity? No, it really hasn't finally embraced gender parity. It's become popular, and now women want to join in. When it wasn't popular, you couldn't get very many women anywhere near this type of stuff. Silly Guardian, you know not what you speak of, as usual. Roddy Piper dies at 61 from cardiac arrest. Wrestling legend Roddy Piper has died at the age of 61. Piper, born Roderick George Toombs, died from cardiac arrest in his sleep at his home in Hollywood on Thursday night. He was discovered on Friday. Piper was a wrestling icon, one of the biggest stars in the WWE back in the 80s, and even wrestled in WrestleMania back in 1985, squaring off against Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. Maybe I was wrong. Michael Koretsky talks about SPJ Airplay and how things went horribly wrong with the GamerGate panel. It's not like this wasn't expected, but some of the requests made by the GamerGate side were reasonable, and he refused to allow them. Is this a case of Koretsky going off, or is it a case of GamerGate going crazy? From Gamers Are Dead to We're All Gamers in less than a year. A concise article on what happens when you try and pander to the social justice crowd. Gamers never died, we just kept respawning. All this and more on Tales from the Infrared.
Now, what are we going to start with?
Well, I personally want to start with either a surprise topic, or we can start off with all the old Gamers Are Dead articles, considering that GamerGate is pretty much 1 year old now.
Well, GamerGate is coming up on its 1 year, its birthday, August 28th.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, a year ago, or 11 months ago, we got the Gamers Are Dead articles. There was like 12 of them, and they all pretty much said the exact same thing. And here we are almost a year later, and now we're getting articles saying we're all gamers. Apparently, they changed their fucking tune a little bit.
Well, it's not apparently. It's literally they're backpedaling because they saw exactly what happens when you piss off gamers. Gamers don't give a fuck about your politics. Gamers don't give a fuck about what you want. We just generally want to play video games and enjoy ourselves.
Well, yeah, I think that should go without saying. But I don't understand how all of us, everybody, is now a gamer. Everyone.
Maybe we're all dead. Is this hell?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean,
At least purgatory.
Technically, it is correct because everybody has something that they play, even if it's just Farmville or Candy Crush on fucking Facebook. Everybody plays a form of video game nowadays. Even if it's just something on their phone, they download a Candy Crush on their phone. That's still technically a video game. It's not a core video game. Okay? There's still a difference between core gamers and casual gamers. But yeah, technically we are all gamers.
Well, I would agree with that, even though that kind of lumps me in with some people I really don't want to deal with. But the problem with it is the crowd who wrote those articles were specifically addressing them to game developers of the AAA level. And the AAA games pander only to the core gamers. They pander to the people who sit there and plop down $60 to $80 for the disc, and then another $60 to $80 for the downloadable content. Not the Candy Crushers.
Well, see, here's the thing. I really, really wish that was the case. I mean, I've been covering the video game industry for a while. I mean, even before I took over Tales from the Infrared, I was doing other podcasts with other people. The fact of the matter is there has been a trend over the last decade or so in the gaming industry, and it has gone more casual. Look at what Konami is doing, just as an example. They are dropping almost all of their AAA console/PC titles. And they're going after things like slot machines. They're going into mobile gaming, so they're going to start making mobile games. I think the only IP that they're still going to keep going is Metal Gear Solid, even now that Kojima is gone. Capcom is starting to get more into mobile games. Sega is starting to do Sonic the Hedgehog mobile games. Nintendo is getting into mobile. There is a huge push within the industry itself to go more freemium, free-to-play on mobile devices, because that's where, like, you can make a lot of money in that area.
Let's be honest, that's where the money is, as far as they're concerned. But does that mean that the money's not still in the AAA titles?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The problem is a lot of the AAA titles nowadays are being released buggy as all hell. The DLC, they're asking way too much money for the DLC. They're like Call of Duty, for instance. They want $15 for a map pack that has 4 maps.
Well, I'm going to look at it from two perspectives. One, that you're right, that's crazy talk. But also, let's look at it from the perspective of the amount of time they put into it versus what they're getting out of it. I mean, is it possible that the number of people who actually actually playing these Call of Duty games, because they've been so buggy, because they've had so many problems in the last few outings, that more people are starting to shy away from Call of Duty, so that in order to keep their profits up, they're charging more for the DLC? Which, I'll be honest, personally, I think that's kind of stupid because they make a ton of money on these things anyway. But if you think about it from that perspective, you can understand at least why they're trying to do this, even though it's going to cause massive failure in the long run.
Nefanor just joined us. Hey, Nef. It's about time.
What do you expect? I just woke up.
Set the alarm clock, dude.
Are you kidding? On a Saturday? My only day off? Hell no.
Well, today's not a day off.
Hey, even I was here, Neff.
Yeah, and that's a surprise. But no, I mean, like, that is actually, like, when it comes to, like, games like Call of Duty, pretty much any EA game, that's really an example of Angry Joe calls him corporate commander. And that's just greed. It's a bunch of executives in suits sitting on the board that don't play games themselves, dictating how a game is designed to be monetized.
Yeah, and like I said, they're gonna end up ruining things over the long term.
And Phil Spencer actually said, and anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a fan of Xbox, and I'm not really much of a fan of Microsoft. I just use their operating system because right now Linux is still not a big enough operating system for gaming. But one thing that Phil Spencer did say that I really respect him for, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, video game executives and CEOs should play the games they make. And it's true. If you're going to be a CEO or you're going to be on the board of directors for a major publisher or a development studio, you should at least be a gamer. Understand the product that you are trying to sell.
But the problem with that is if they actually understood the product that they sold, they wouldn't be putting out crappy products, and they would actually do better in the... Oh, wait. That sounds like a great fucking idea.
No shit, right? I mean, is it really that so much to ask that the people who are making the games also enjoy playing them? It's not that far of a stretch for me. I mean, yes, the developers themselves are gamers, okay? Those who do the groundwork, those who, design the maps, who engineer the audio, who do the programming, who create the assets, they are gamers. But we have too many companies now where the top guys, those who are calling all the shots, they're not gamers.
Well,
they don't really understand. Like, they're not core gamers. They don't understand the product.
Well,
they don't understand the service.
I completely agree with you on this, Christian, but I want to play devil's advocate and look at it from a slightly different perspective for a quick second. The people who create the games, I mean, let's look at BioWare. When it was run by people who loved the games, it shot up in popularity real quick. But their sales were still semi-low. When it went corporate with EA, their ability to sell the games went higher. The quality of the games went down. So there has to be some sort of middle ground where that works. Maybe eventually they'll find it, but I don't see how. I mean, we all have our own specific skill sets, and unless you've got a gamer in as a CEO who knows how to run the company at a successful level and at the same time knows what's a good game that people want to play, you're never going to get anything like a top-end BioWare. You know what I mean?
Well, why not? I mean, that used to be the case. I mean, even now, if you look like, and this is one area where I still have some respect for Nintendo, even though they're completely going off the rails with their business model. I still have quite a lot of respect for Nintendo because most of their top guys are gamers. Satoru Iwata, who just recently passed away, he was a gamer, and he was a game developer.
Yeah, it's something pretty rare for the industry that you manage to have somebody who's in charge who is not only a gamer but also a game developer. And maybe, maybe it should always be that way.
Entrenched. I mean, he was completely entrenched in the gaming ecosystem.
Yes, but let's look at that. He was completely entrenched. He helped to make Nintendo one of the largest powerhouses in gaming that was out there. He's gone, and now Nintendo's changing their business model.
Well, no, there's something else to consider. We're talking about not just a completely different company, but we're also talking a completely different country. And attitudes over there are a lot different than they are over here about gamers.
Yes. I mean, Japan,
they have arcades on just about every street corner.
Yes.
I know this.
Then they're also Japan, like the mobile gaming market is booming in Japan. It's getting huge. That's actually one of the deciding factors for Nintendo going mobile. But Nintendo of America is following suit, and they're not doing anything different for the Western markets. But my point still stands. Satoru Iwata was, up until his death, a gamer first, then a game developer, then a CEO. Reggie Fils-Aimé, on the other hand, I don't think he's ever picked up a controller in his life except for trade shows.
Well, I could name a few others where I see that. Oh God, I'm not going to get into that. But if you look, yes, the ones that tend to become more successful, it's when they start moving the game developers and the gamers into the CEO positions. I think that would definitely, for gamers and for gaming itself, create a better atmosphere and create better games. I can't disagree with that. I will never disagree.
One of the things that has been severely lacking with games as of late, with few exceptions, is longevity. And when I say longevity, when I speak of longevity, I am particularly, almost specifically talking about multiplayer online games only.
Right.
Counter-Strike, I'm going back to Counter-Strike 1.6. There's still a lot of people who play Counter-Strike 1.6. The game was released in 1999. That game has longevity.
The original StarCraft.
The original StarCraft is still being played by quite a few people, although Blizzard did a really good job with StarCraft 2, and so a lot of people did make the jump to StarCraft 2. That game has longevity. Call of Duty 2, 4, they have longevity. There's still a lot of people playing Call of Duty 4 on PC. It has longevity. Battlefield Hardline, you play it for a few months and you're bored of it. You're waiting for the next one. Now everybody's played the crap out of Hardline. There's still some people playing it, but now most of the people are on their edge of their seat waiting for Battlefront. I mean, sure, there are still some single-player games like Fallout 4, for instance. I expect Fallout 4 to be a really long game. I'm going to start playing Fallout 4, and none of you are going to hear from me for at least 6 months.
Bullshit. You're going to be here hosting the show.
You know, I expect Fallout 4 to have some longevity, not like in the fact that you can restart the game, build a new character type. You can continue building out your settlement, which is going to be awesome. I expect that game to have longevity. But the point still stands that today's multiplayer online games don't really have a whole lot of longevity. They don't. They're designed specifically to keep your attention for a few months until they can sort of start making their announcements for the next game. And a lot of games now are going on a yearly release schedule, which just means that if you want to keep getting the experience that you're used to, you pretty much have to buy the next game with all of its DLC.
Yeah, that's just crazy talk. I'm sorry, that's exactly what it is, because the DLC pretty much doubles the price.
Yeah, and I mean it's actually down to the point where with Black Ops 3, and I checked this on the PlayStation Store as well as Steam, when they were first put up on sale, you could not buy the standard edition for $60. That wasn't even an option. You could only buy the premium edition that included the season pass for $129, or the season pass for $50. I can check it again. I don't know if that's changed because I haven't looked at it. In fact, I'll do that right now. I got Steam open.
Yeah. Well, while you do that, I think we're going to move to from Gamers Are Dead to We Are All Gamers in less than a year.
Yeah, it's still. I'm looking at it right now. $114.99. The digital deluxe edition. It comes with Black Ops 3 and the season pass. The standard edition for $60 is still not an option on Steam.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. Is they're going to keep increasing the price so they can increase their profit, so that they can increase the money that goes into their accounts. And to hell with gamers. I've been saying it for years. I'll continue to say it. It's time we stopped paying this shit. It's time we stopped enabling this behavior from these game developers and these corporate assholes who just care about the profits.
I mean, of course there are exceptions to this. I mean, if you look at what Tripwire is doing with Killing Floor 2, and I know, Jim, you've been playing it a little bit. It's an awesome game. It's an awesome game. It's still in early access. They only have 4 maps for it, but it's a $30 game. They're going to be adding 6 new perks, or 4 new character classes, and a bunch of other maps as they continue to develop it. And even right now, it's a really fun game to play. And that game is going to have longevity. And it's because Tripwire is a company where, yeah, the president, the CEO, he actually plays games. His name is John Gibson. He's a gamer. He's a gamer first. And so they design their games to
with
be
us
fun.
Gamers in mind.
Yeah.
They design their games with us in mind.
So we're all pretty much gamers now. Every single one. Even my mother, who plays, like, I don't think it's Bubble Witch. I think it's something. I don't know. It's one of those Bejeweled-esque kind of games.
My mom plays Farmville, and it's one of those. Oh my God, I'm now in that category with my mother.
Well,
Yeah,
you know why they do this.
Is she sending you requests on Facebook?
I don't play it, so no.
You know why they're trying this? Everyone's a gamer now, don't
Yeah, it's to try and kill the gamer identity by saying the gamers are dead.
Exactly what was said in The Incredibles. If everyone's a gamer, then nobody is.
Well, he said if everyone's super, then no one is. Yeah, basically, if no one's special, if everyone's special, no one is. So yeah.
The same thing by handing out participation trophies to everyone instead of giving it to people who win races.
You're removing the merit.
Specialness.
Well, no, it's removing merit, or the idea of having any kind of talent or from the situation, because that's the thing. There's really a great deal of merit that is usually attached to that, because when you're talking about a gamer, you're not talking about somebody who plays casually, you're talking about someone who plays regularly and puts commitment into a certain number of games that they play on a regular basis. And that's a big deal.
Real gamers are committed, or at least they should.
Yeah, it's like the difference between like having a girlfriend and having a wife. Yeah, there you go.
Hold on. I want you to explain that one to me, because I don't follow why you say that.
I said commitment. Just saying. Okay, or maybe a date. I don't know. Maybe it's bad. It's a bad example. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a bad example.
Sorry. Whatever. Fine.
That's a bad example, and you should feel bad.
Well, it's Rachel. She should always feel bad.
I don't know. Some people are married to their games. I'm just saying.
Hey, don't judge our lifestyle choices.
I'm not judging.
She's totally judging you, Neff.
I'm not judging Neff.
The Fuda is judging you, Neff.
Like Neff in Destiny.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, that's still a good game.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not.
Hey, one of the guys I work with is still playing Destiny, but like I said, the Fuda is judging you, Neff.
And some people in StarCraft.
Darn that Fuda.
The way they handled the third expansion was just absolutely atrocious, and the way they tried to fix the problem was even more atrocious. I mean, they want to charge you $20 for a couple of emotes and some in-game stickers. I mean, you don't really get much for your $20. It's.
What are you talking about now?
I'm talking about the third expansion for Destiny.
Oh, that,
they tried to sell it as a complete package, so those who already owned the game and the first two expansions would have to buy them again.
Yeah, they done fucked up on that. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do about that one.
And then when they tried to fix it, they said, okay, well, we'll sell the emotes and a few other small things. They essentially, the things that developers tack on to sell an actual product, they're selling just the tacked on crap for the price of a full DLC, $20. And you still have to buy the expansion.
Well, the thing is, people will buy those crap on add-ons because there are people who are collectors who want that shit.
Well, here's the thing that I've been seeing, and this might be my brain catching on to oh god, brain not functional, need more coffee. It's a trend. Have you noticed how, you're getting less and less for your dollar more and more often, especially when they start talking about increasing minimum wages in places?
Well, I mean, inflation always meant that eventually you would start getting less for your dollar, and you would continue to get less and less for your dollar as time goes on.
What I'm seeing isn't so much getting less and less for your dollar at the rate of inflation. It looks more like artificially trying to push less and less on the consumer for more and more money.
Well, I mean, it's...
You know what I mean?
I mean, you remember when they used to tell the difference in price from a PC game to a console game? It was usually about $10. PC games were 50, or PC games were 40 when console games were 50, and then when console games went up to when PC games went up to 50, console games went up to 60. They used to call it the console tax. Now it seems with every single hardware generation, like the PS2, it was 40-50. With the PS3, Xbox 360 generation, it was 50-60. And then eventually, halfway through PC games, they just started charging PC $60, same price as console. They went up again I mean, console games and PC games are now $70 in the US. They're $80 in Canada. Companies do artificially increase their price every few years.
Yeah, well, here's something. Not all companies do it. Wrigley's Gum is still selling their shit for 25 cents, and it's 35 cents now, but I mean, they've been around since the 1940s when they were selling 5 sticks of gum for, what, 5 cents, 10 cents?
I mean, it's just the way of the industry, and it does kind of suck. I mean, as soon as like the PS4 hit, games were still like $60, but it wasn't long until like you look at a game now like Black Ops 3. It looks like Black Ops 3 is going to be $80 for the regular edition.
I'm still thinking we need to start moving away from these AAA developers and going with smaller developers who are selling better quality for a better price.
Yeah, honestly, it's getting pretty ridiculous. People are even writing songs about it.
I mean, I've been saying that for years, but the problem is, indie games will rarely ever take full advantage of the hardware. You can look at a game like Fez, for instance, or a game like Rocket League. Sure, Rocket League is built in the Unreal Engine, and it does look quite nice. But it doesn't look as nice as it could. You look at games like The Escapists, another indie game. It's a 2D pixel art style game. It's not taking full advantage of the PS4 hardware, and it's not taking full advantage of modern PC hardware. When you get smaller developers with smaller budgets, you inevitably get smaller games. And smaller games do not sell hardware.
I understand that, but let me ask you this. Does it really matter if the quality of the game in all respects beyond the hardware level, are much higher? I mean, if we're buying these top-end games just to sell hardware, isn't that kind of an incestuous relationship between the hardware developers and our game developers? That's the way I'm looking at it.
Well, it's not incestuous. It's complementary. Nobody pays $500 for a new console to play Fez. They pay $500 for a new console to play.
Nobody plays Fez anyway.
Yeah, fuck Phil Fish.
Hey, say what you want about Phil Fish, okay? He's an asshole. I fucking hate the guy. He's a dick. But he did co-develop a really decent game. Fez isn't bad at all. It's actually a pretty good game. I mean, credit where it's due.
Yes, he did steal the code of a very good game.
Yes.
And a lot of things.
But I mean, nobody pays $500 for a new console for a little indie game like that. They pay $500 for a new console to get the next big gaming experience.
I know that, but what I'm saying is maybe we need to stop buying the next console just for the new gaming experience and go back to just playing good games and showing them, hey, you want our money, give us good games.
Well, for that, you have to convince the entire gaming community.
Yeah. That's going to happen. Yeah. Like I said, that's going to happen.
I've been trying to do that for years, man. Years. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I pushed indie games on Crosshairs almost religiously because a lot of them were really, really good. But then we started getting this huge influx of like self-important, pretentious pricks who think that their genius is just too genius for anybody to fucking understand. and now even indie games are a crapshoot. There's still a lot of really, really good indie games out there. Don't get me wrong. But there's also now a larger number of shitty indie games who are artsy for the sake of being pretentious and self-absorbed. But speaking of gamers, let's talk about the Cecil the Lion.
Yeah, basically they're saying
He's
that
not a very good gamer.
Oh Jesus! Well, yeah, that's really you can't.
Yeah,
really,
he definitely didn't respawn.
You can't play games when you're dead. Just saying. I know too soon.
However,
But-
his brother did respawn for him and is taking care of his cubs.
Oh. Oh, terrible. That is terrible.
Oh, hey.
Cecil's brother is actually taking care of his cubs so they won't be picked off by other lions.
Oh, really? I thought. Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. But usually, when they take over, when a male lion takes over the pride, he goes in and kills all of the cubs.
It's his brother, and he's like, "You know what? This is family."
Wow, that's something.
Well,
And who says men are bad?
yeah.
But
But see, the thing with it is
in the Animal Kingdom.
unlike the Lion King, the lions will actually support family because there is some genetic similarity, so they don't actually kill all of them, just the ones that maybe aren't.
Yeah, just maybe the ones that are a little dark inside and let their brothers die. Like, oh, never mind.
I killed Mufasa. Woo! Anyway, no, but in all seriousness, basically they're saying that GamerGate, what's been going on for about a year, is mob vigilantism, and that it's comparable to what's happening to that dentist who killed Cecil the Lion.
Directly quoting from the article. This should look familiar. It is the same set of tactics that has been used in online harassment campaigns such as the GamerGate movement that targeted women in technology or seemingly endless online harassment conducted against female journalists. It is a growing trend of internet mob justice, one that often bleeds into real-world harassment with real-world consequences. I want to point something out. The people who did this are the same people who have been attacking GamerGate from the beginning.
Yeah, see,
I
I
was just
had
gonna
no
say
idea.
that.
I had no idea that Ben Kuchera was a female journalist. I had no idea that
Yeah,
Grayson was a
Nathan
female
Grayson was a
journalist.
female journalist.
I had no idea that the myriad of male journalists out there were actually female
I
journalists.
had no idea that Phil Fish
Well, they
was a
identify
woman.
as female, don't you know?
Yeah,
We've just been misgendering them this whole time.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
People just
We're
don't.
so terrible. We're shitlords.
And here's the thing: we have never actually gone in front of somebody's place of employment and wrote things like "rot in hell" and "killer" and all kinds of terrible shit. We've never done any of that stuff.
Well, maybe we should start.
I don't know. I don't think that that's the best course of action.
I can tell you that's probably not the best course of action, and I personally, if GamerGate started doing that, I would denounce them in a heartbeat. I'm sorry, I cannot.
It would be cool.
Yeah, I cannot support stuff like that.
But this sort of thing bleeding into real life, this is not the first time that it's happened, and it's not a recent trend. This stuff has been going on for a very long time.
I think this whole article is just talking about projection. After all, if you want to see mob justice, take a look at Shirtstorm. And who started that?
I know, right?
Well, I just want to point out that this is absolute projection. I mean, what is this? It's the same set of tactics that has been used in online harassment campaigns as the GamerGate movement that targeted women in technology, or the seemingly endless online harassment conducted against female journalists. This is absolute projection.
It's more than projection. They're definitely pushing a narrative.
Like, what did Quinn do to the fine young capitalists?
Yeah, well,
DDoS them.
That's what I'm saying. This isn't projection. This is a pushing of a narrative. The person who's writing this article already has their opinions of GamerGate. Otherwise, they wouldn't just inject them into the story out of nowhere.
And it's the new thing now. GamerGate is the new commies. We are the excuse for all of the problems in the world, and everything will be blamed on us, even if it has absolutely nothing to do with us.
Well, remember, GamerGate has been run out of polite internet society.
Polite internet society or safe space internet society?
You know, I don't really
Safe
give a
space internet society is the actuality, but that's out of the article.
Yeah, I really don't give a fuck if we're allowed in polite society. Fuck that. We'll put our feet on the table. We don't give a shit.
Throw the feet up on the table and
Yeah.
crack a beer. Hey,
Exactly.
Rachel, get me a beer.
Nope.
You've
Give
been
me a
told.
sandwich?
I'll make you a sandwich, maybe.
All right.
Grilled cheese.
Sounds good.
I mean, it's just like, and the article continues on. Mob justice is not justice. I'm sorry, but aren't social justice warriors known for their mob mentality? I mean, somebody doesn't like something, so they have to get everybody to rally against it. I mean,
That's
is
pretty
that
much
not mob
everything.
justice?
That's pretty much every time they get pissed off about anything.
The thing with it is mob justice has been around for centuries. There have always been lynch mobs and whatnot. I mean, all you have to do is look back in history, look at just about any even semi-historically accurate film.
Torches and pitchforks.
Yeah, torches and pitchforks. You go back to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
It's a monster!
Exactly. But this is the exact... It's just the newest way of the lynch mob.
Burn the witch! Burn her!
Yeah. But I want to point out something from Men in Black. A person might be smart, but people are dumb, stupid, dangerous animals.
Yeah.
I have been saying that for years.
Shut up,
Yeah,
Neff.
I mean, it's... You get the right circumstances together, and... Well, I mean... I know some people might not like this, but that's pretty much what happens every time we have a riot. People are upset, they go nuts, and then they just start destroying stuff.
That's true.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Somebody's upset, let's go burn this fucker down. That's the exact mentality that's behind all this shit. And people are trying to blame it on stuff like GamerGate. I mean, you know, say what you will about the GamerGate movement, but we've never gone to someone's place of employment or called or made calls to their fucking employer and said that they were terrible people. But we have had people on the anti-GamerGate side who have called up people's places of employment and basically said that you're a child molester or a rapist or something like that, and people lost their jobs. That totally happened.
Well, I do want to point out that we did take on Gawker and kick their ass, and tell their advertisers not to advertise with Gawker. We pretty much annihilated Gawker. Technically, we did actually do what you said we don't do.
No.
That's
I
not
mean,
the
it's
same thing,
no,
though.
it's not the same thing. I mean,
All we're saying to these advertisers is we don't want to do business with people who do business with them.
Yeah, exactly. The difference here is one is coming from people who are concerned consumers. The other is coming from people who are just trying to make you lose your job overall, just because they don't
Not only that,
don't
the
like
things
you.
that we told
Your
the
politics.
advertisers were things that Gawker actually did. The things that people told employers, nobody actually did.
Exactly.
Okay, so the difference is we're being honest about how crappy these people are. They're being dishonest.
Exactly. They're being dishonest because they don't particularly like your opinion on things. We're not doing this because we necessarily just overall dislike their opinion. We feel that there are breach of ethics here. There was something that was promised that wasn't delivered, by these people. And one of the things that we expect in journalism is ethical behavior and some truth.
I mean, we've seen this happen. We've seen this happening for years now. Journalists essentially writing reviews that are paid reviews. They're being bought. They're getting money, or they are getting gifts in the form of trips to the developer, dinners with the developer. They're being put up in nice hotels, all to buy positive reviews.
In some cases, even being fucked by the developers.
So, I mean, we're doing it from a consumer rights standpoint. The SJWs are doing it from a standpoint of just almost pure righteous indignation. Anyways.
Well, I've got an idea. Anybody want to see the bonus topic?
No.
What's the bonus topic?
The bonus topic is Stephen Moffat saying that the Doctor is neither 100% male nor 100% female, like all of us.
God damn it! No, I'm sorry. Really, we need to get somebody else to write Doctor Who. I've been feeling this way for the longest time. I mean, I know that there were some moments where, like, Russell T Davies did a thing where he would push a very specific mindset, like you had Captain Jack Harkness, who was like pansexual, and you had a whole bunch of other things where they'd push basically interracial relationships just because. And that's and I thought, okay, I'm fine with that. But like what's been going on with Stephen Moffat is just it's just annoying.
He's stuck in social justice cock.
Yeah, I thought Russell T Davies was bad, but shit.
If you want to talk from a biological standpoint, he's not completely wrong. I mean, everybody has a balance of testosterone and estrogen.
Yes, but it's still favors one or the other.
Like no guy has pure testosterone with no estrogen. No woman has pure estrogen with no testosterone.
I would agree, but the thing is that what ends up happening is that a lot of times people will use something with a kernel of truth to try and push something that isn't necessarily true.
False.
Yes. Or something that we don't know the answer to, for example. And that's really what's going on with this idea of gender fluidity. A lot of this stuff is not coming from what we know from a biological standpoint. It's coming from identity politics. And a lot of an area of science where we still understand a lot about certain kinds of brain chemistry, the hormones on the brain. There's a lot of things going on here that we just don't know. And instead of admitting that we just don't know, people just hop on the identity politics bandwagon.
Well, they don't want to admit that they're wrong, number one. Number two, it sounds good to them. Because right now, to them, it's tough to be man. I hate to borrow from DC Cab. Well, no, I don't. I love borrowing from DC Cab. But it's tough to be a man, baby. And you got to understand, right now, this is probably the worst time for being a man. And for people who aren't in the uber manly level, myself included, it sounds so good to hear, gender's fluid. Gender isn't necessarily stagnant. Unfortunately, gender is stagnant.
Well, what we're really trying to describe here is that I think people kind of fuck this up because what happens is that they have this very specific idea of what makes a man or what makes a woman, and they usually identify it by things that you do, rather than just your identity as a whole. Like, I think you can like a lot of girly things and still be a man.
Men are defined by what they do. Women are defined by what's between their legs.
Well, I'm saying, I'm talking about behaviors in terms of.
That's not even true there, Neff.
I'm talking about behaviors in terms of like interests and things like that. Like a man might feel like that since all of his interests don't line up with what is typically masculine or what is viewed as typically masculine. Like if a guy isn't really into into sports or something like that, and he's more interested, or the kind of sport, like maybe he's more interested in, I don't know, ice dancing. Like, who, he can still be a man.
Hey. I enjoy watching ice dancing mainly for the cute girls.
Oh, you watch ice dancing too?
I will watch ice dancing all day because some of those girls are rather hot.
Nah, they're too flat.
Yeah.
I didn't say that they're not flat. I said they're rather hot. I kind of like my girls skinny. What can I say?
Well,
twigs.
But
twigs.
the general idea I'm trying to put out here is you have a lot of people who feel that since they aren't the hyper-masculine version of masculinity, that they simply aren't men, or they aren't male enough.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is.
Yeah, and that's where this idea of gender fluidity is so popular, because it makes people feel a little more comfortable in their own skin, and they want to buy into it because it makes them feel comfortable. But there's a lot we still don't know about brain chemistry and gender and all of these things. It's still all up in the air. And when we're talking about science here, the better position is to admit when you don't know all of the answers, rather than to say, well, we're going to take this position until we're proven otherwise. That's unscientific. It's completely fucking ridiculous.
Not only that, when you take the position until we're proven otherwise, as I've seen arguing with people all the time, if you take the position until I'm proven otherwise, I'm going to take this position. Generally, people tend to continue to take that position even when there starts becoming evidence, starts showing that there's evidence that proves them wrong.
And you're not allowed to be skeptical about this sort of thing at all with these people. You're not allowed to express that you are skeptical, or to say, we still don't know a lot about all this stuff, because they will jump down your throat, because this is really not about science for them. This is not about what we know in medicine.
It's about their personal identity. It's about who they view themselves as a human being.
And it's based on emotion and faith, and you can't say anything.
It's also based upon how they've constructed who they are.
It's a social justice religion, really.
Oh,
I can't help
slightly.
I can't help but think that we're kind of blowing all this out of proportion, because I mean, reading the article, the only things Moffat says in that respect is, and I'm quoting, "In my head, rationally, it seems to me, you know how human beings are never completely male or female. You're mostly a woman, I'm mostly a man. That maybe a male Time Lord is someone who, most of whose regenerations are male. Maybe he'll have a couple of female ones. The science fiction of that would make sense to me. Otherwise, I think life might be a little bit complicated on Gallifrey, or I don't think they care."
But the thing is that men and women are different, and people don't want to admit that. They're better, that they're happier feeling that men and women are the same and have the same brains, and that gender is a social construct, and that's what we're coming down to. This is what Stephen Moffat is trying to use to justify maybe having a female Time Lord.
Well, no.
What he's really doing is he's catering to the Tumblr crowd.
No, here's the thing. He doesn't have to. And I'm going to completely play devil's advocate here, because I personally don't see anything wrong with what he said. Well, the science fiction is there. In the Doctor Who universe, it has been established for decades.
Yeah, I know that.
A Time Lord can change sex in a regeneration.
Yeah, but the larger context behind this is that he's trying to push for a female doctor.
Well, I don't think the larger context is just him trying. That's not what he's saying
at all. That's not what he's saying at all, because he actually does go on to say, it's not an impossibility to have a lady doctor. It's not a lock either. There's no guarantee. I wish sometimes that the politics of that would take a back seat and we'd just talk about the art, because it's not really about that. It's just about, would it work? The day it will work, is when somebody says that person would be amazing, and the most conservative, most traditional member of the audience says, oh God, yes, I would hate the idea of a lady doctor, but that one would be great. He is not trying to push for a female doctor. He's just saying it can happen, it's a possibility, and if it is going to happen, we're going to wait until we find the right actor for the job.
Well, more than the right actor, we need the right kind of writer, because I'm really kind of fed up with Stephen Moffat, to be honest.
Yeah, he's not the right writer.
He's not the right writer. He's not going to be the person who's going to write a great female doctor. Not even close. Because when I'm going to compare Russell T Davies and stuff like that, we did have moments where you're like, okay, there's some pandering here, but there was still a decent amount of writing. But with Stephen Moffat, every now and then the pandering gets so bad it's enough to make you sick. You're like, really? I mean, it's like every other moment they try to remind you, oh, by the way, we have an interspecies relationship here with like interspecies lesbians. By the way, did you know that there's interspecies lesbians? Oh no, I didn't know because you didn't tell me enough times. There's interspecies lesbians. I mean, I don't care, but it's like, oh, by the way, did you remember? Like, for the fucking millionth time, there's interspecies lesbians.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem I've had is that it's pushed and it's pushed and it's forced instead of just letting it happen. I mean, hey, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I love the Doctor. One of my favorites is Tennant. We all know this. But you know what? If they could get a female on the show who could play the Doctor as well, in my opinion, as Tennant did, I'd be like, okay, whatever, I'm good. The problem I have is, and always has been, here's the female doctor. We want the female doctor. The female doctor. Female doctor. Female doctor. Female. At some point, you just get sick of it and just go, please, stop.
But again, I mean, that's a portion of the audience that are trying to push a narrative. You can't project that onto Moffat.
It's the Tumblr crowd. It's the Tumblr portion of the audience, though.
Just because Moffat said, yeah, it's possible that there could be a female Doctor, and yes, it is possible because the science of the Doctor Who universe, the science of the Time Lords, allows for that, and that's already been established. That's canon.
Yeah, we know it's canon. It's just the thing is,
if there was a female Doctor, you could not say it's out of canon.
I'm not saying anything about whether or not it's out of canon, Chris. I'm saying I don't have a problem with bringing in a female Doctor. Should that female be worth their salt as the character of the Doctor?
Exactly.
I have a problem with people, including the showrunners, pushing and pandering and putting it out there every chance they get about a female Doctor.
I think what we really want is that if we're going to have a female Doctor, we want it to be for the right reasons, and we want it to be a decision that furthers the show in a positive way, that it's beneficial to the plot overall, and the person who's writing this show is able to do that in such a way that they aren't screaming at the top of their lungs, oh, by the way, did you know that the Doctor's a woman this time? The Doctor's a woman this time! Holy shit!
So I think what we're all saying is...
Stephen Moffat actually said that in this interview.
Yes, we agree with what Stephen Moffat says, we just don't agree with him being the one to do it.
Now, granted, I will say that Stephen Moffat had a bad season last season. Writing for Peter Capaldi,
and the season before that was failing.
Well, the season before that wasn't that bad. It started off really good. It just started to get really bad when Clara came into the picture. I think the closing to Rory and Amy, that was a very strong closing. It was a very emotional closing.
But I think
everybody over the last 3 or 4 years fell in love with Rory and Amy as sort of dual companions. because they were really, really good companions.
Yeah, they did.
And they were great characters both separately and together.
Yeah, but what I think is going on here is that what has happened here is that the switch to Capaldi's Doctor and pairing that with Clara is really kind of bringing out just the inability for the current team and the current people that they put together for Doctor Who to adapt to a storyline that isn't based entirely on romantic fluff. Because they've been relying on that for the most of the new Doctor stuff. They've been relying on the romantic.
They've been relying on it since.
They've been using it as a crutch, and now they don't have anybody who's really able to write Doctor Who in a way that is different, in a way that doesn't rely on the romantic fluff. Because
I mean, here's the thing with every version of the Doctor going all the way back to the first one, there was always sort of a small bit of maybe not sexual tension, but there's been some tension there. And granted, it has increased as it's become more okay and more appropriate to have more of that tension on screen. Because keep in mind, when the show started, I mean, everybody was still all up in arms about an on-screen kiss. Now that's just something that happens. But there's always been that tension there. And the Doctor has always been a character that never crosses that line. It's always been mostly from the companion's side. So it's always been mostly the companion who is attracted to the Doctor.
Yeah,
but you also have to keep in mind that with each new regeneration, it's an entirely new personality. Every single time they bring in a new actor for a new regeneration, they're writing a new character.
Yeah, and Capaldi is doing a good job.
They keep the backstory. They keep, everything that happened in the previous regenerations, that stays. But they're essentially writing a whole new character to sort of go on top of that, like it's a Jenga puzzle.
Yeah, and the writers they're having right now, most of them are way too amateur to fucking handle Capaldi's Doctor, the intensity of his Doctor.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe we're just not used to Capaldi's Doctor, because earlier on when the season was still going, I was talking about Peter Capaldi's Doctor as if I think he is just a little too dark, because Capaldi's Doctor is a dark Doctor. I mean, I thought Eccleston was a dark Doctor. Capaldi is like tenfold what Eccleston was.
Yeah, I would agree, and that's the thing. These people don't know how to write this Doctor. They don't know how to do it. I don't understand, because I'm pretty sure there are tons of writers out there who are capable enough of doing this job, but somehow something is going on with the team. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know that we have Clara.
Is watching Tumblr too much and not paying attention.
Yeah, we've got our Clara, and anybody who was smart enough would have fucking ditched her after that first shitty season. They would have said, okay, well, we're having a lot of problems here writing for this. Maybe we need some new blood. We need somebody else. We need something different. Maybe, bring things up, bring something in. Like I think, and this is what I'm really looking forward to, is the idea of having a younger companion.
Well, maybe not even a younger companion.
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying this because I think the old and young kind of thing would be really good.
Hold on. Let me run this one by you. The reason why I say maybe not a younger companion, and I don't know how much I've expressed my distaste for Donna Noble. I honestly think someone like Donna Noble would be a better companion for Capaldi.
You know what? I actually kind of agree with that.
Yeah, Donna would be perfect.
That would
the
be
two
a
of them
good
would rub each other the wrong way constantly.
Yeah, that would be a good
for
option. That would actually be good as well, but I think that, like I said, bringing in a young companion, again, because we haven't had that in forever, somebody who is basically far too young to be a romantic interest for the
Maisie
Doctor.
Williams.
Yeah. Would be fantastic. I really think, because you would have the sense of wonderment on the end of the child, and then they would realize that this Doctor is not a good person overall.
No, see, here's the thing, though. Even though I think Capaldi's Doctor is very, very dark, he's still a good person.
Well, the thing,
he's sure he's taking the path less traveled a little more often. He's just accepting that somebody is going to die, like when they were in the Dalek, that one episode.
Yeah.
He just, here, swallow this. All right? And he dies.
Well, yeah,
I knew he was going to die. He was going to die. There was nothing I could do to save him. And I even said it, the Doctor we're all used to would at least make the attempt.
Yeah, what I'm trying to express here is not necessarily that the Doctor is bad, but the morality of someone much younger is a little more black and white than the understanding of morality by an adult.
Well, somebody who's a little more older and wiser and has more experience.
Exactly. So when you have those two perspectives, it would make for interesting television.
Yeah, but again, you can't really project. That's a human thing, because we only have, like, what, 85 to 90 years average lifespan.
Yes.
The Doctor is like 1,300 years old. So even when it was Matt Smith, who was arguably a younger-looking Doctor, he was still 900 to 1,200 years old throughout the span of his few seasons. So he's still old and wise.
Exactly. What I'm trying to express is that the perception from a much younger person would be like, you're fucking terrible. You're a terrible person or something like that. I want to go home would be the initial response. And I don't know, you could go to really dark places with that, but they probably wouldn't let that happen, though. I think about it.
I don't know. I think that would make it a little bit more interesting, and part of what keeps the show going is keeping it very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I liked about Torchwood, because you had Captain Jack Harkness making decisions that the Doctor could not make. And not everybody liked Torchwood. I did.
I love Torchwood, and they need to bring that back.
They're working on it. Anyway, shall we move on? Maybe to geek culture finally embracing gender parity?
No. We shouldn't move on to that. I think we should finally talk about the hero that we deserve.
You mean Superman?
Believe it or not, Superman is on the side of GamerGate.
Yes. I want to let that sink in for a minute. Superman agrees with GamerGate.
Actually, two Supermen do.
Hold on. The big blue Boy Scout.
Two Supermen agree with GamerGate.
Two?
Adam Baldwin voiced Superman in Doomsday Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's true. But what I'm trying to point out is Superman, the big blue Boy Scout, the guy in the comics and the movies who would never do anything bad. You could even consider bad, generally.
Well, I mean,
Dean Cain was one of the last people to play that.
Breaking Zod's neck in Man of Steel was kind of bad.
I'm sorry.
That's what we're saying, not the last person to play a good Superman.
Yeah. We're talking about the big blue Boy Scout. That was not the big blue Boy Scout. And I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. Man of Steel was not Superman. It would have been a great movie if they just had left the Superman part out. Everything else would have been fine, but if they if they just wouldn't have called him Superman, Clark, or just put it in that universe, great movie. I will totally say that.
You
But
mean
the
kind of
minute
like Ang Lee's Hulk?
Well,
Yeah, kinda like
it was a
Ang Lee's
response. I mean, Man of Steel was more or less a response to Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. They were just trying to take the character and put him in a more gritty universe.
Well, that's fine. You can put him in a more gritty universe, but you fundamentally change the character down to the core of who the character is. It's not the character anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't Superman. Superman would not have done that. The original Superman would have never done any of the shit that happened in that movie.
Granted, yes, because a lot of shit got destroyed. A lot of buildings got toppled over.
Yeah. So
That was they made it a gritty universe. Unfortunately,
And just
they
think of
applied
the
too
death
much grit
toll.
to Superman.
How many people were working in those office buildings? Big giant skyscrapers that just toppled over. How many people died? What's the death toll?
Yeah,
Actually, they
and
did
that's
an
the
article
thing.
about that.
Superman wouldn't let those people die. He would do every fucking thing in his power to make sure there are 0 deaths. 0 civilian deaths.
yeah.
And he would feel like shit if there was even one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, Superman.
That's one of the driving forces behind Superman, is just his compassion for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And I never saw that
And
in
I
Man
think
of
that's
Steel.
the problem they had with this one. Because of the fact that they had him being such a loner for the longest time, he had no compassion for humanity.
Yeah. They're trying to go all angsty with our Superman now. They're trying to with all our
It works
characters.
for Batman, but it does not work for Superman.
Yeah, that's the dynamic though between Batman and Superman, is because I think Batman said it this way. He said the difference between them is that deep down Superman is a good guy and deep down he is not. Like Batman is not. Batman said that he wasn't. Like deep down Superman's a good guy and deep down I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, the other way to put it is deep down Superman is looking for the hope in humanity. Batman is looking for the darkness.
Well, that's or more that Superman believes that there is hope for humanity, and deep down, Batman probably doesn't. So you have two totally different mindsets, and that is why there is such a dynamic between them, because they are polar opposites in mindset. They're working for the same goal often.
But going back to the fact that Dean Cain is supporting GamerGate, it is true because he is a gamer. In fact, he even posted a screenshot of his Alliance Paladin in World of Warcraft.
Alliance.
Yeah, I gotta find out what server he plays on just to troll him.
Gank his ass.
I am not gonna
Fucking
gank his
Alliance.
ass, but I would fucking troll the fuck out of him.
What do you guys think of
Troll?
GamerGate green and purple Superman as their next meme?
I like this. I mean, after all, we already have the GamerGate green and purple Confederate flag.
Oh God. So
I haven't seen that.
yeah, I've seen it.
They just take the Confederate flag and make it green and purple.
And by the way, those of you who are against the fucking Confederate flag, cut it out. You're just making people buy more Confederate flags. That's been the thing down here, because I'm up in the fucking South where all this shit is
Can
been
we
going
say
down.
prohibition?
They're just buying more of them because it's forbidden now, and they're wearing more of them. It's
Yeah, I
ridiculous.
saw a picture of a girl in a Confederate flag bikini. That's a Confederate flag I'd like to take down.
Yeah, they're like, remove it.
Oh yeah, take that one
slowly.
down, all right.
They're like, remove it slowly. That's offensive.
Slowly, are you kidding?
No, slowly's more fun if it's done right, but we're not going to get into that right now.
Yeah, because Rachel might start wanting anal.
Oh, fuck you, Nefanor.
Has anybody actually read Cain's quote?
What did he say exactly?
I've been playing video games, all these types of games my entire life. I've also shot the real guns and done the real thing, and I promise you, as my son has, there is no correlation. I don't buy it for a second. If someone's predisposed to do something, the game is not going to kick them over the edge.
Yeah. Wow.
Not
We love
only
you,
did
Dean
he
Cain.
defend gamers, but he also did it logically and intelligently.
Yeah, we love you, Dean Cain.
Believe it or not.
She loved you a long time.
You had to go there, and I was just thinking of Ripley's Believe It or Not, too.
Yes, because that show is still on TV. They do reruns of it with him.
Yay! I know. I remember that show. Shit.
Well, he also did another show where that was just a bunch of guns. My father watches it. I can't remember the name of that. He actually looks into how these guns operate and whatnot. It's a very interesting show. I can't remember the name of it, so yeah, that's about all I can give you. But he's right. If someone's predisposed to doing something, playing a video game, regardless of whether it says it's all right or it's not, is not going to push you over into doing something illegal. It's your mindset of whether or not you think it's really that bad or really that wrong, and just finally coming to the decision of, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. So I mean, what do we have now? We have well, let's run down a quick list of celebrities who are pro GamerGate. There's obviously Adam Baldwin, now Dean Cain, Eli Roth, I think.
William Shatner.
William Shatner was more or less neutral. I mean, he did say that GamerGate's basic what did he say? Basic ideas are solid.
Is right. Yeah. So he's in his own way. He's pro GamerGate.
I would still consider him neutral. I mean, as more and more celebrities who have less to lose support GamerGate, I'm sure we're going to see more celebrities who have more to lose come out and support GamerGate. It's just right now, I mean, and this is just the sad truth about it, is that the feminist narrative still controls a large portion of the media. So a lot of celebrities who may, secretly support GamerGate, support anti-SJWs. Yeah. I completely lost my train of thought. I need more coffee.
Well, I'm going to bring up somebody who probably would have given more time on this earth. Wrestling legend Roddy Piper.
Damn straight. Because he's here to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
And he's always out of bubblegum.
Yep. So, what else do we have? I think we have the death of that wrestler.
That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, is Roddy Piper. He was famous for wrestling, specifically in the 80s, and he was a great icon back then and a lot of fun to watch. But I will always remember him from the movie They Live.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
I know that movie
that
very
mullet.
well.
That mullet.
Hey. Don't be messing with the mullet.
What, you mean the business in the front and the party in the back?
Damn straight.
Hey, I hate to say it, but I think he made mullets cooler than...
all I'm going to say is that... all I'm going to say is that the haircuts today, like the really gender-neutral haircuts today, are like reverse mullets. They're like... It's like business in the back and party in the front. if you think about it. I mean, you've seen them like the Hitler Youth haircuts where they just kind of shave around the sides, and that you've got the floppy hair in the front on top.
Well, that says something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it says that shit's really been really changed, to be honest.
Shit's been thrown upside down.
Yes, when you've got a reverse mullet, and that's the popular hairdo.
Well, popular with idiots.
Yep, it's true.
I'll take my high fade any day, thank you very much.
All right, so anything else you want to say? Because
Well, yeah, actually, I do want to speak on Roddy Piper. I did watch
Never mess
wrestling.
with a man in a kilt?
Yeah, never mess with a man in a kilt. He's got more balls than you, and he's willing to show them. But he actually was a lot of fun to watch in the 80s, and he's actually one of the few stars back then that I respected and enjoyed watching. I'm kind of saddened to see him leave this earth. I'm kind of saddened to witness the passing of somebody who brought a lot of joy to a lot of lives.
And a lot of faceplants.
And a lot of faceplants. But I still remember what he's done. Whenever I start thinking about it, I'll just turn on They Live and
Wear the fucking shades.
And wear the fucking shades. Yep. So, thank you, Rowdy.
Yeah. Roddy Piper. We're going to miss you. You added a lot to WWE.
And you looked really good in a pair of shades.
Oh, come on, you were just worried. You were just wanting to see him in the kilt.
Well, the good news is, now that he's passed, he's got all the bubble gum he wants.
Yeah. So, and there was the SPJ Airplay thing as well.
Has that actually happened
SPJ
yet?
Airplay.
No, I don't believe that the Airplay thing has gone through yet.
SPJ Airplay, and has geek culture finally embraced gender parity?
The whole thing with the Airplay, it seems like Krotsky, or whatever his name is pronounced, Koretsky is trying to sabotage it, because I think he didn't realize how serious Gamergate really was. He was just hoping this would be a quick story, and he's finding that Gamergate is not letting go.
Yeah.
Well, I've sat there and I've read the article. I've read the responses from the involved parties, and I will be honest, I think there was room to kind of compromise a little bit, but it was a bunch of people who weren't willing to compromise altogether. Not just Koretsky, but also on Gamergate's side.
I would disagree. A lot of things have gone on here. There was a bit of a kerfuffle, from what I understand, and I have talked to Oliver about this. But really, what was going on is that Koretsky was trying to fuck them over. They were saying that they believed that, from what I remember, they were going to have an hour, and now they were going to say, okay, now you've got like 30 minutes.
15.
15. And now you've got 15 minutes to explain all of this stuff. And yeah, they really needed to be able to explain all of this stuff. And I do feel that there was definitely an effort on their part to try and fuck with these people. To fuck with Gamergate and say that no, you don't have this amount of time anymore that we said that we're going to give you, because at first it was oh, by the way, you're going to have to go pay for all this. And now you're going to come all of this way to speak for like 15 minutes. We're talking about people coming over from another country or from across our own continent just to come and speak at this thing for 15 minutes.
Okay, well, on that end, I will say, yeah, that's kind of a dick move. Not to mention, yeah, you're saying that originally they were promised an hour. If you promise somebody something, you need to deliver on it. Period. I mean, if you make a promise, it used to be in the past that a man's word was gold. Man gave you his word, you could expect that word to be lived up to, and most likely more. Nowadays, it's, well, you know, I gave you my word, but things change. Yeah, things change. Understandable. But when things change, you need to let people know. And you need to sit there and understand when things change, if it's no longer, what's the word I'm looking for? If it's no longer feasible, what you're asking versus what you're giving, something else needs to change. At what point? Hold on. At what point did things change, and Koretsky not sit there and say, "Hey, this is asking a bit too much of these GamerGaters." I hate to even for 1 second say, you know, sometimes we do need to listen to feminists, because every once in a great while they are correct. Mm. If you promise somebody that what they believe, what they have to say is going to get out, you need to deliver that promise. And if things change, you need to find a way to still deliver that promise. If he promised an hour and then he cut him back to 15 minutes,
yeah,
that fault lies specifically with Koretsky and SPJ Airplay.
SPJ, right, yeah. And yeah, from what I understood, Koretsky blew a lot of things out of proportion and did misquote people in GamerGate and did misconstrue what had taken place.
Well, a lot of people are saying that he was doing it to make a story.
Yeah, he was. I mean, it's pretty obvious. He's trying to create a huge kerfuffle as something that is going to make GamerGate not want to come at all, in hopes that they won't show up. I think that's definitely something that's easy to take away from this. That seems to be what they want, because at first it seemed like, oh, GamerGate's coming, whatever, and then he realized, holy shit, they're actually interested in coming, and they're actually interested in talking about ethics. What can I do to not only save face, but make these people look bad, make them not want to show up? And right now, what's going on with all this is that these people are going to go regardless of whether or not there's going to be controversy. The people that we're sending out there are going to go, and with the exception of Oliver. And there's really nothing they can do about it. They can cause a fuss and a fight and everything like that. But we're gonna do what we said we were gonna do. I mean, people raised the money to go out there. They're gonna go out there, and that's another thing. People went out of their way to make it so that they could actually go to this, and then they were screwed over. And so of course Oliver would have a reason to be upset, and he did express that his words were misconstrued, that he was misquoted, and but that there was definitely a disagreement between the two of them. So yeah, but that's really not what's important here. I think what's important is that you're going to have people out there who are going to have a discussion and are going to have a platform and any effort to take them from that platform is going to be well documented. So that's what's important here.
They try and silence us. We will let everyone know.
If you strike us down, we'll become more powerful than you can imagine. Basically.
Okay, Obi-Wan.
Yes. That's basically the gist of it, and I'm excited. I'm excited because you're gonna have like Milo Yiannopoulos there. We're gonna have a whole bunch of really great people there.
Are they gonna have his hair there too?
Yes, of course. Milo's perfect hair is gonna be there.
Did you hear? He's actually starting up a Patreon just for his hair.
so there should just be the Patreon where it's just you just show the hair like Milo's hair, and maybe it tweets out things. Holy shit! There should be an account like that.
Tweets from Milo's hair. There we go. I'm doing it right now.
No. Don't. I don't know. Are you fabulous enough to be Milo's hair?
Oh, yep, honey.
It's like I just rubbed some glitter like a hair thing in.
Milo
Actually,
just
already
rubbed
has a
some
Milo's
glitter
hair,
into me.
Some glittery
It's
polish.
fabulous.
Make it extra shiny.
There already is a Milo hair
Twitter
account.
account? Oh really? Milo's hair?
It's actually Nero Hairline.
Nero hairline.
Oh my god! So it's probably describing different things like getting messed up whenever he's in bed with someone.
Although it looks like
yeah. Okay.
It looks like an anti being stupid.
That's no fun.
Because it's called Milo's receding hair.
Oh well, fuck them then. We need a positive hair.
Yeah. In other words, you need someone who can actually make some decent jokes. Hey James, you up for doing a Twitter account?
You lost me.
Never mind.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We were just talking about Milo's perfect hair.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. Rachel, you're a fag hag.
What?
I think we all know this, though.
I am not a fag hag. I don't know if I would actually have a. If I would actually be one of those like really committed. They're like, oh my god, and they'll be like, oh my god, I know. Oh my god. I don't know.
All right, Grace.
I don't think I could do that. No, I don't.
All right, Grace.
No, I just like his hair. I don't know if we'd be cool to hang out, but I like his hair.
Okay, so you're not a fag hag. You're a fag's hair hag. What? What was that?
I don't know. We've
She
gone.
loves Milo Yiannopoulos' hair. And
Who doesn't?
Here it is. I found
That's
it.
the thing. Who
July
doesn't love his hair?
31st. Milo Yiannopoulos. I'm thinking of doing a Patreon for my hair because it's basically a public service.
Like I said, we really need to have a picture of Milo before GamerGate and after GamerGate. What am I hearing? What the fuck am I hearing?
Hey, Neff, your mic went all screwy.
Yeah, but like I said, there needs to be a picture of Milo before GamerGate, and now his current avatar as after GamerGate because it's got all the stuff on it, like the hat.
All right. Can we get off Milo's hair?
Okay, fine, whatever. I just like the pictures of before GamerGate and after GamerGate.
That's great. I don't. I think. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit more of a guy in the fact that I can only talk about hair for 2 minutes.
Hey, I happen to know a guy who's straight, who's a hairdresser, and I'm pretty sure he could talk for more than 2 minutes.
I'm not that type of guy. I can only talk about hair for 2 minutes because generally it's go in, this is what I want, get out, pay, and then get out. I'm done. Okay? That's the extent of everything I do with my hair.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you. So, shall we
Just
talk
shave it
about...
off, you don't need it.
I think
Yeah,
you need a
I'm
leave-in
starting to think so.
conditioner, Jim. I think you need a leave-in conditioner. It would really, really help the drying on your
I think I
scalp.
need a blowjob.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
Yes, thank you.
Wrong kind of conditioner.
Not if you've seen something about Mary.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus. You had to fucking go there.
I totally did.
Of course he had to go there.
Oh, God. All right, what's our next topic?
Gender
Our
parity.
Has geek culture finally embraced gender parity?
Finally? Finally?
Yes, finally.
Oh, my God.
Oh my
Finally.
god. As if we never have before. Really?
No,
Yes.
What
Well,
they
here's
want
the
is
thing.
gender. They want gender parity in outcome, not in actual opportunity.
Okay.
They
Exactly.
want gender parity in the results, not in actual who wants to join. They don't want gender parity. They want gender conformity.
Yeah, they do.
Here's the thing, okay? Back in the 80s, 90s, it was heavily male-dominated. And there's a reason for that. It's because it wasn't very popular. In fact, it was shunned.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get a woman fucking anywhere near geek culture because it was shunned.
Unless they were very committed to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You
I mean,
have
some
the occasional
examples,
one.
like I know Hannah Wallen. She's played D&D for decades.
Yes.
Okay, there's the exception. There's always the exception.
Mm.
But the exception doesn't disprove the rule. And the rule was, in the 80s, the 90s, or even earlier, 60s, 70s, geek culture, nerd culture was shunned.
Yeah,
And you
if you
couldn't get very many women interested in it because it was shunned.
Yeah.
Now that it's popular, we're starting to see a lot of women show interest in it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and speculate on the reasons for this new interest, okay? Maybe the interest is genuine. Maybe they're just being trendy cunts. I don't know. I really don't know whose interest is genuine and whose interest is, personal and selfish.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, now that it's popular, there's a giant influx of females, of women, interested in geek culture.
Well, I think that the only problem that, well, not the only, but one of the main problems that we're having, though, is when you have more women coming in, instead of them just respecting what it is that you're, the hobby, they want to come in and then change it. A lot of them. Of course, you have women who do respect it and do what they have to do to, be a part of that. And understand it for what it is, and they're just fine with it. It's the difference between a woman who likes you just the way you are and a woman who wants to change you. And that's really the main difference, is that they come into geek culture and they think, okay, what, this has potential. I'm going to go redecorate instead of, this hobby is fine just the way it is. And that's what we're seeing here. That's one of the main problems that we're having.
Pushback is. Yeah, that's the pushback we're getting. We're getting a bunch of people coming in and wanting to redecorate and change the game, change the industry, and make it things that they like. And then they look at the people who were already there and go, "Oh, they don't fit. They're not nice. They're not good. Let's push them out." That's
really the difference here is you have two different kinds of women who are in this group. It is like I said, it's the women who see this hobby and they're like, this is fucking awesome. This whole culture is just fucking awesome the way it is. And then there are the women who are like, well, I feel like there's a lot of things in here that are problematic, and I think that if maybe we just change some things, that maybe everything will just be a lot better and more inclusive and more progressive. Would that be alright?
No.
Like, it's
No,
exactly.
I think it's time we made geek culture back being stigmatized, because at least then we know who's real.
I agree. Because I'm sorry, the people who are in it because it's popular, they annoy the fuck out of those of us who actually love the culture.
But you guys, that's really problematic. Don't you understand? You're just a bunch of shitlords.
And you know what?
Shut
When
up,
it comes
feminist
to the,
Rachel.
hold on. When it comes to people telling me it's problematic and that I'm some sort of shitlord, I take that as a compliment because I consider the source of where these people are coming from. I consider the source of who these people actually are and how they think, and anything that's problematic to them, that works for me.
Oh my god, you guys. I'm so fucking triggered.
Good. Good. Be triggered all fucking day.
On a scale from like 1 to 10,
God, yes, be triggered all
can't
over.
even.
Between 1 and I can't even. I'm totally can't even.
Rachel,
I'm sorry.
get triggered all over.
Can't even.
I can't.
Can't even say can't even. Yes, thank you,
I can't.
James.
I can't go forward with this. It's too fucked up. It's going to a dark place for that voice.
Well,
Do
let
you need
that
Raven
place go.
Moondragon in here or something?
I'm not Raven Moon Dragon. I'll have you know, I am of fucking whichever. I'm whatever I want to be. Don't
Speaking of which, I honestly want to get Allison in for an episode because
gosh.
I know she used to do the show and I know she helped create the show.
I also know that there's a certain rabbit that wants in.
Oh my gosh, Shannon! You mean
The rabbit
Shannon?
always wants in.
Yeah, I know.
Are Shannon with her cripple powers? And for
No,
those
not
of you...
not that rabbit. I'm talking Usagi.
Oh yeah, Usagi.
He always wants in.
Yeah, Usagi always wants in, and I love him to death, and I would happily bring him along, but he kind of told me a little late, so.
Yeah, I mean,
I just noticed it in my Skype too late too.
Yeah.
Yes, Usagi's pretty cool. Yeah. But, that would be an interesting show, though, I think. You'd have two kinds of rabbit.
Here's the rabbit.
What, bring in liberal lunacy and Usagi?
Yeah, two bunnies.
I'm down for that. I'm also down for Justicar.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Justicar?
I'm down with the clown.
He's a funny fucker. We should get
Clown?
him.
I DM'd him. I said, hey, look, people
Christian
want to
knows exactly what I'm talking about.
It is the rabbit. You silly sod.
No, when I say I'm down with the clown, Christian knows what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, I know what he's talking about as well, but, no, I'm not into it.
Oh, come on, ICP's hilarious.
Well, there's a difference between...
Hell!
There's a difference between being down and committing to, the face paint.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
hey, I will defend Juggalo culture all day.
Actually, a lot of them are nicer than anti-GamerGate, that's for damn sure.
Go drink a Faygo.
I love Faggo. Seriously. Red Pop is amazing.
Wow. Oh god, wait, does that mean that you even saw the movie that ICP made? That was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Which one? Big Money Hustlers or Big Money Rustlers?
I don't know. Wait, what's the difference between the two?
One's a more modern, one is a Western.
It was the more modern one. It was the one where you had the one guy and he was the detective, and then you had the other one was playing this gangster motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Big Money Hustlers, and that movie's pretty good.
That movie was terrible. Just saying.
Man.
It's still watchable though. It was bad in the way that's still watchable.
No, like what I don't get is that like, yeah, most people have no idea what it's about. All right, most people look at Juggalo culture and they see, oh, they're just a bunch of fucking idiots, and they'd have no idea what it's actually about. I mean, yeah, there are some pretty dumb fucking people who are Juggalos, and you know what? I'll still fucking defend those dumb motherfuckers because it's all about family. It's all about, you know, Juggalos are a group of outcasts. I mean, I've been outcasted all my fucking life. Okay. So I'm not about to outcast somebody just because I think they act like an idiot.
Okay.
So it's a thing.
Okay.
Just remember the most important thing.
What's that?
Taking the red pill?
No. How many Super Saiyans does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know, Neff.
Are we back on Milo's hair again?
No, only one, but it takes 4 episodes and Krillin dies.
Okay, that's a good one. All right, I think we're. Unless we have anything else to say about the gender parity or supposed gender parity.
Actually, personally,
that's only now happening.
I want to see a gender parody in gaming.
Sounds like gender parody in gaming?
Yes, a parody.
Gender already is a parody in fucking culture.
You know what? I'm starting to agree with that. Nowadays, it seems like gender is a parody.
Yeah, exactly. So now we need a gender parody in gaming.
Well, I do have something I just found, which is apparently Dungeons and Dragons encourages racism.
So it's breaking news. Do the thing, F.
No, it's not breaking news.
Oh.
Yeah, it's old news.
It's just stupidity.
Okay.
It's not old news. It's a couple days ago, but
lay it on us.
It's stupidity. Does Dungeons and Dragons encourage racism? You know, the guy goes on. Yep. The guy goes on talking about how in the 80s there's the moral panic about summoning demons and whatnot. And he goes and looks. It's like, I'm not going to bore you with it. The old orcs are representative of insert real-world ethnic group nonsense that's been done to death and only really serves as a metric to figure out what kind of racist you are when you fill in the blank.
So basically, nobody ever had any kinds of folktales about monsters at all. Like this was something that we entirely just created just to talk about race.
We appropriated it. Come on, get it right, Rachel.
Yeah, we just.
Yeah, it's more of that.
You know, we just created orcs to be the black people, basically. That's totally how orcs came about. I mean, yeah. It's totally not about folklore and legend or anything like that.
Let's look at this. His first one. If your character isn't a halfling or a half-orc, he probably doesn't like half-orcs. I'm just going to read the titles of each section, just for... Rangers get the option of being even more racist. Let's see. Number 3, short racists can go fuck themselves. And number 4, there is a master race.
Sure, people got no reason to live.
Yeah. Well, I'm all for a little bit of dwarf tossing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's his 4 points.
Really?
If you aren't human, you're a fucking monster, is one of the things he says.
Oh, God. I don't even know what to say. I mean, D&D is racist now?
Yep, D&D is racist now.
Oh, my God. This is just completely ridiculous.
Wait a minute. Wait. You mean in a game where I can choose to play a 1T or a half dragon or an elf or a dwarf or a human or a halfling or a gnome,
Or
even
Dr.
bugbears
Manhattan.
and goblins? I can choose to fill any of those roles, it's a racist game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't you know
Oh.
everything's racist?
Damn, that's right, I'm human. I can't play a goblin without there being an element of cultural appropriation there. Fuck!
I know, because then who would you be able to complain that was being discriminated against?
I telling you.
You don't understand goblin culture, so you can't play it.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm fucking hearing. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for over 30 years now. Holy shit, I'm old.
So I guess Dr. Manhattan is the only person that can play a Deva?
Oh, shit.
No. No, he's fictional. Unless he's in someone's head, then he's fiction kin.
Fiction, Kim?
No, that's just...
No, he's just a headmate then.
Yeah, he's just a headmate, and just... Yeah. Okay, oh god. So, like, headmate Ken, I guess.
I think we've run this topic into the ground and are slowly burying it in shit.
Yeah.
It's
and you
just
know
so
what?
goddamn fucking stupid. It's so stupid.
That's, we're just appropriating Tumblr culture right now.
I think we're laughing at Tumblr culture.
There's a lack of culture.
Well, well, yeah, we are laughing, and that's why I suggested that we were appropriating it, because that was kind of just saying. Anyway, 'cause it's getting pretty ridiculous with all this stupid shit.
I think we should just nuke Tumblr from orbit. It's the only way to
The
go.
only way to be sure.
Just let me know when you're doing that, so I know to get the fuck out of there when you guys do it, because...
No, sorry, you're part of Tumblr.
No, hey, no. I am not part of the bad portion. It's kind of like in neighborhoods, kind of like Chicago. There's the bad parts of town. And
Not all Tumblrites are like that.
Exactly.
There's a lot of porn on Tumblr. I should know.
Yeah, there's a lot of porn on Tumblr, and there's a lot of men's rights stuff on Tumblr, and there's a lot of people who kind of cross the two. So you'll subscribe to a blog, and it will send you some nice, tasteful nudes and also men's rights stuff. So it'll be like, yay!
You're all for the tasteful nudes, aren't you?
Yes,
She's
I
all
am.
for nudes, period.
Yes, I am.
That's true.
I'm all about the wonderful the pretty porn. You know, when they've got the lighting just right.
She just likes the porn.
Yes, I do.
does.
Yes, I do.
I think she needs to talk to Mercedes. Maybe she can get her a job.
Oh my.
No, it's probably for the best that I don't.
My.
That I don't. do
Wait.
porn.
Hold on. I want to hear this. Why is it probably for the best that you don't?
It's probably for the best that I don't do porn. Just saying.
You heard it here, everybody. Rachel doesn't want to do porn because of some reason.
Yeah, I have
She's
my
making
reasons.
up reasons.
I have my
Yeah, she's
reasons.
making up reasons. Yeah.
I have my reasons. I'm just saying.
It's because she's like totally not into it. It's like totally sexual objectification.
God damn it. No, don't do that voice. Don't do that voice.
It's like totally wrong, Rachel.
I think we should probably start to wrap up now, because we're just...
Because otherwise I'm going to
Goofy?
do the voice again. I'm going to be like, nah, stop being such a total shitlord.
Yeah, we don't want that. So let's go around the room, as usual, and, final thoughts. I'm going to start with, Rachel, I'm going to start with you, and don't do the voice.
Final thoughts? I'm from the camp that says that that geek culture is fine just the way it is. Just leave it alone. Don't fucking go in and redecorate. Just leave it be.
Neff.
Bring back geek stigma.
Jim.
I gotta say, I think geeks should have it the way they enjoy it. If you want to come in, have fun, bring whatever you want to bring with you, but understand we were here first, and if you're annoying the hell out of us, please leave.
James, anything on the D&D topic?
No, I've got nothing else to add on that.
Other than copious amounts
Not
of
even a plus
laughter.
one sword?
Say again?
Not even a plus one sword?
No.
Are you going to cast magic missile at the darkness?
No. This is worthy of meteor swarm. Just just magically nuke the whole thing. Oh God.
Orbital ion cannon. I am just going to say that I think Stephen Moffat's interview was taken out of context. A lot of it was taken out of context. I don't think he's saying what people are taking from that article. And that's it. Take the red pill.